Hello sa'yo student, ako si Sir Bryan. At nandito ka sa aking channel na, The Millennial Teacher. Nandito ako para tulungan ka sa math subject mo. Nagtuturo ako ng mga topics mula grade 7 hanggang grade 10. Pero bago natin umpisahan ang klase, ay iniimbitahan kitang mag-subscribe sa aking channel at pindutin ang notification bell para lagi kang updated sa mga bagong upload ko, na tiyak na makakatulong sa'yo. Simulan na natin ang klase. Ang topic na ituturo ko ngayon ay Law of Exponents. Ito ay review topic para sa mga grade 9 students. The first law of exponents, or also known as multiplication rule, where a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n for positive integers m and n. Ibig sabihin student, kapag ang operation natin ay multiplication, at ang base ng ating exponent ay magkapareho, ang kailangan lang nating gawin ay kopyahin ang base at get the sum of the exponent. Gawin natin sa mga sumusunod na halimbawa. Example number 1, I m raised to 5 times m raised to 4. By applying the first law of exponent, just copy the base which is m, then add the exponent. Kaya magiging 5 plus 4. At ang final answer, student, ay m raised to 9. Example number 2, ay 4 raised to 3 times 4 raised to 2. Just copy the base which is 4 and get the sum of exponent. Kaya magiging 3 plus 2. Kaya ang magiging sagot, student, ay 4 raised to 5. In this case ay pwede pa natin itong masimplify. Kaya, ang final answer, ay 1024. Example number 3, ay quantity a plus 1, raised to 3, times quantity a plus 1, raised to 2. Just copy the base which is a plus 1, and get the sum of exponent. Kaya magiging 3, plus 2. Kaya, ang final answer, student, ay quantity a plus 1, raised to 5. Example number 4, ay quantity a plus b plus c raised to 3, times quantity a plus b plus c. Just copy the base which is a plus b plus c and get the sum of exponent. Kaya magiging 3, plus 1. Dahil alam naman natin student, na kapag walang nakalagay na exponent sa taas, ibig sabihin ay may imaginary 1. Kaya, ang final answer, student, ay quantity a plus b plus c raised to 4. At ayan, ang first law of exponent, student. The second law of exponents, also known as power of a power rule, where a raised to m times n is equal to a raised to product of m and n for positive integers m and n. Ibig sabihin, student, ay kakopyahin lang natin ang base at multiply the exponent inside to the exponent outside. Gawin natin sa mga sumusunod na halimbawa. Example number 1, ay a squared times 3. Just copy the base which is a and multiply the exponent inside to the exponent outside. Kaya magiging 2 times 3. At ang final answer, student, ay a raised to 6. Example number 2, ay 3 squared times cube. Just copy the base which is 3 and multiply the exponent inside to the exponent outside. Kaya magiging 2 times 3. At ang resulta ay 3 raised to 6. In this case, ay pwede pa natin ito masimplify, student. Kaya, ang final answer, student, ay 729. Example number 3, ay quantity m plus n squared times 5. Just copy the base which is m plus n and multiply the exponent inside to the exponent outside. Kaya magiging 2 times 5. At ang final answer, student, ay quantity m plus n raised to 10. Example number 4, ay quantity a plus b plus c raised to 4 times squared. Just copy the base which is a plus b plus c and multiply the exponent inside to the exponent outside. Kaya magiging 4 times 2. At ang final answer, student, ay quantity a plus b plus c raised to 8. At ayan, ang second law of exponent, student. The third law of exponent, also known as power of a product rule, where ab raised to m is equal to a raised to mb raised to m4 positive integer m. Ibig sabihin, student, ang exponent na nasa labas ay i-distribute lang natin sa loob. Gawin natin sa mga sumusunod na halimbawa. Example number 1 ay xy raised to 5. In this case, ang base natin ay 2. Kaya, ang 5 ay imumultiply natin sa exponent ng x at y, kaya magiging x raised to 1 times 5, y raised to 1 times 5. Dahil ang exponent ng x at y ay both 1. By simplifying, ang final answer, student, ay x raised to 5, y raised to 5. Example number 2 ay quantity a squared b cubed times to the 4th power. I-distribute natin ang exponent na nasa labas sa mga exponent ng mga base na nasa loob. Kaya magiging a raised to 2 times 4. b raised to 3 times 4. By simplifying, magiging a raised to 8, b raised to 12. Example number 3 ay quantity 3xy squared times to the 4th power. I-distribute natin ang exponent na nasa labas sa mga exponent ng mga base na nasa loob. Kaya magiging 3 raised to 4, x raised to 4, y raised to 2 times 4. By simplifying, ang final answer, student, ay 81 x raised to 4, y raised to 8. Example number 4 ay quantity x plus y squared times quantity a plus b cubed times squared. I-distribute natin ang exponent na nasa labas sa mga exponent ng mga base na nasa loob. Kaya magiging quantity x plus y raised to 2 times 2. Quantity a plus b raised to 3 times 2. By simplifying, ang final answer, student, ay quantity x plus y raised to 4 times quantity a plus b raised to 6. At ayan, ang third law of exponent, student. The fourth law of exponents, also known as division rule. If a is not equal to 0, then a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n, where m is greater than n. Ibig sabihin, student, kapag ang operation natin ay division at magkapareho ng base ang numerator at denominator, ang gagawin lang natin ay i-subtract ang exponent ng numerator sa exponent ng denominator. Gawin natin sa mga sumusunod na halimbawa. Example number 1 ay x raised to 10 over x raised to 6. Just copy the base, which is x, at i-subtract natin ang exponent ng numerator sa exponent ng denominator. Kaya magiging 10 minus 6. Kaya ang magiging final answer, student, ay x raised to 4. Example number 2 ay 5 raised to 5 over 5 raised to 2. Just copy the base, which is 5. At i-subtract natin ang exponent ng numerator sa exponent ng denominator. Kaya magiging 5 minus 2. Kaya magiging 5 cubed. Pero, maaari pa natin itong masimplify, kaya ang final answer ay 125. Example number 3 ay quantity a plus b raised to 4 over quantity a plus b raised to 3. Just copy the base, which is a plus b, at i-subtract natin ang exponent ng numerator sa exponent ng denominator. Kaya magiging 4 minus 3. Kaya ang magiging final answer, student, ay a plus b. At hindi na natin kailangan ilagay ang exponent dahil ito ay 1. Example number 4, ay quantity a plus b plus c raised to 5 over quantity a plus b plus c raised to 3. Just copy the base, which is a plus b plus c, at isubtract natin ang exponent ng numerator sa exponent ng denominator. Kaya magiging 5 minus 3. At ang final answer, student, ay quantity a plus b plus c squared. At ayan, ang fourth law of exponent, student. The fifth law of exponents, also known as power of a fraction rule. If b is not equal to 0, then a over b raised to m is equal to a raised to m over b raised to m. Katulad lang din ito ng second law, which is power of a power rule. Ang pinagkaiba lang, student, ay naka-fraction form. I-multiply lang natin ang exponent na nasa loob sa exponent na nasa labas. Gawin natin sa mga sumusunod na halimbawa. Example number 1, ay x raised to 3 over y raised to 5, multiply by its squared. Just copy the base of numerator, which is x. Next ay multiply natin ang exponent ng x sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 3 times 2. Next ay copy the base of the denominator, which is y. Then multiply natin ang exponent ng y sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 5 times 2. Kaya ang magiging resulta, student, ay x raised to 6 over y raised to 10. Example number 2 ay 2 cube over 3 raised to 4 multiply by squared. Just copy the base of numerator, which is 2. Next ay multiply natin ang exponent ng 2 sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 3 times 2. Next ay copy the base of the denominator, which is 3. Then multiply natin ang exponent ng 3 sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 4 times 2. Kaya ang magiging resulta, student, ay 2 raised to 6 over 3 raised to 8. Pero maaari pa natin itong masimplify. Kaya ang final answer, student, ay 64 over 6,561. Example number 4, ay quantity a plus b squared over quantity c plus d cubed, multiply by the fourth power. Just copy the base of numerator, which is a plus b. Next ay multiply natin ang exponent ng a plus b sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 2 times 4. Next ay copy the base of the denominator, which is c plus d. Then multiply natin ang exponent ng c plus d sa exponent na nasa labas. Kaya magiging 3 times 4. Kaya ang magiging resulta, student, ay quantity a plus b raised to 8 over quantity c plus d raised to 12. At ayan ang fifth law of exponent, student. Hopefully, may natutunan ka sa video na ito, student. At huwag mo na ding kalimutan mag-subscribe and share mo na din ito sa kapwa mo mag-aaral na kailangan matutunan ang topic na ito. Muli, ako si Sir Bryan, ang iyong Millennial Teacher. And see you to my next class.